So let's think about some of the skills, talents that you developed through your musical interests that have been applied in your business world. Give me one.
Well, the first one I think that's really clear for me is teamwork and sort of what it means to, particularly in, say, if you're in an orchestra or a band or some other form of music ensemble, a choir maybe, what it means to sort of relate to other
Mm.
musicians, and that's very different to if you're doing a solo performance or something where you're um, a featured performer. If you're being accompanied, say, and you might be singing a solo performance with an accompaniment, that's very different to if you're playing as a member of an orchestra as a holistic piece. And there's something that I've always found really interesting in that. Obviously, like anything, it becomes clearer, the more, uh, life experience you have and the older you get, and you can look back on it and go, oh, that was a really interesting lesson. But I think the teamwork element for music really comes down to it's not about being the loudest player necessarily.
Yeah.
It's about a whole lot of different skills. Listening, blending in with others. Really interesting concept in music, intonation.
Yeah.
Where if you're not playing a fixed tuned instrument like a piano, you might be playing a violin, for example, where you are on the strings. If you're not listening in with the rest of the orchestra, you might be a semitone or a quarter tone out from someone else, and you get dissonance. All of those sorts of things. So the piece around listening to others and dynamics and where you sit relative to that, for me, looking back on it, it was a really formative lesson. I played for percussion. It was one of the things that I played in concert band at school. And percussion, most people I think would associate that with lots of loud banging and cymbals and crashing and whatever. But some of the best percussion parts are those that are really soft and quite
Yeah.
subtle
Yeah.
in a piece, and that can add drama or add emotion
Yeah.
to what's being played elsewhere in the orchestra. So, that for me is probably the main one. And, I put it back into any situation, whether it's business or personal or whatever. Um, there's a piece on how you relate to other people and, working in a team and collaborating and all of those sorts of things.